Let's go Browns! What if I told you the Cleveland Browns may have just graduated one of the most underrated rookie classes in recent NFL history, and we're not just talking about talent, but potential and redemption stories that could redefine this franchise? This isn't just hype, Browns fans. This is what's really happening in Berea, and if you haven't been paying attention, you're about to miss one of the most dramatic off-seasons we've had in years. Let's start breaking this down layer by layer, because from legal dramas to standout performances, depth chart changes, and franchise-defining moments, there's a lot to analyze. But first, make sure to hit the like button if you've been a Browns fan for over 16 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. The utmost respect. Now, I want to ask you something. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate Kevin Stefanski as the Browns head coach? Comment below. Let's get straight to the point. First, Isaiah Bond. Just a few weeks ago, this name was buried in skepticism and legal uncertainty. Once projected as a first-round pick at the end of the season, yes, first round, Bond's draft stock plummeted after legal concerns. But today, the wide receiver released a statement confirming he will sign with the Browns. Now, let's be clear, while the Browns haven't officially signed him yet, Bond has made it clear he will join the team. The Browns are still conducting due diligence, but the situation is already settled. The charges against him have been dropped. He turned himself in, faced the system, and came out clean. Bond thanked the Browns for their belief in him, promising to grow in wisdom, character, and faith. And if you're wondering what kind of player we're talking about here, strap in. Bond clocked a ridiculous 4.39 in the 40-yard dash at the combine. That's blazing speed. He's not just a straight line burner either. This guy can cut, explode out of breaks, and line up either wide or in the slot. Defensive backs barely have time to react before he's past them. And Browns fans, imagine a wide-out room that includes Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and Isaiah Bond. That's not just depth, that's a threat. But wait, Bond's not even the only redemption arc this week. Remember the uncertainty hanging over Quenchin Judkins? That's over too. The charges against the star rookie running back have been officially dropped. The details are important here. The state attorney's office found no video evidence, no reliable witnesses, and even questioned the legitimacy of the reported injuries. The delay in reporting the alleged incident, 5 whole days, only further complicated the case. So now, there's no reasonable likelihood of conviction. That's a green light for Cleveland to get his rookie deal done, and it couldn't come at a better time. Let's talk football. Judkins isn't just another back. He was an absolute machine at Ohio State. 14 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per carry, over 1,000 yards. With Nick Chubb's future uncertain and Jerome Ford as a potential RB1, Judkins could inject a new layer of explosiveness into this offense. That backfield could go from question mark to strength overnight. And yes, while the NFL is still conducting its own review, this latest development should weigh heavily in Judkins' favor. Unless something unexpected drops, don't be surprised if Judkins suits up week 1. That's the kind of momentum shift that turns a training camp on its head. Now let's pivot to something that should really raise your eyebrows. Cleveland dominated the Philadelphia Eagles in joint practice. That's not just a throwaway line. The Browns looked better offensively and defensively against the defending NFC champions. First and foremost, Joe Flacco. Yes, that Joe Flacco. The veteran quarterback lit up Philly's defense in team drills, going 7-for-10 with 2 touchdowns. In 11 on 11s, he threw 3 touchdowns in his last 6 attempts. That's a 50% touchdown rate against one of the league's top defenses. That's not normal. That's not expected. That's vintage Flacco, and it's happening right now in a Browns uniform. For weeks now, the debate's been brewing. Should Flacco start week 1? Should we just let the rookie, Shadur Sanders, take over? After what we saw against Philly, it's clear Flacco's not just a placeholder. He's making a legitimate case to be the week 1 starter. And for those of us who remember his short but electric playoff run with Cleveland, this might be deja vu all over again. But while Flacco soared, rookie QB Dillon Gabriel struggled, at least at first. He started 1-4-5 in team drills, but it wasn't all on him. Let's talk about Diontae Johnson. This was supposed to be his shot at redemption. Once a 1,000-yard receiver, Johnson has been plagued by inconsistency and, yes, drops. That trend continued in joint practice. Not only did he drop multiple passes, but one of those drops turned into an interception against Gabriel. That's not just disappointing, it's costly. With the receiving room still defining its identity, Johnson can't afford those kinds of mistakes, especially with young talents like Cedric Tillman and Isaiah Bond hungry to rise. And credit where it's due, Gabriel didn't fold. He bounced back and ended on a high note, connecting on a dime for a touchdown to Harold Fannin Jr. That's 2 rookies making a statement in a high-pressure setting against elite competition. And if you're sleeping on Harold Fannin Jr., don't. He was also part of a clever trick play that saw Dylan Sampson pitch it back to Fannin for a touchdown. That's creativity. That's boldness. That's Cleveland saying, we're not here to play safe. Now let's talk defense. If anyone had doubts about the Browns' front seven post-draft, they were silenced this week, because one name stood out more than any other: Myles Garrett. The man was simply unblockable. Philly's O-line is elite. They're among the best in football. It didn't matter. Garrett got through like they weren't even there. Jalen Hurts couldn't breathe in the pocket. He was sacked repeatedly. No touchdowns in 5 sessions. Not a single one. Garrett looked like a man possessed. And when you add that to the fact that the Browns managed to keep him in Cleveland when a trade looked likely just months ago, that's the real win of the offseason. And let's not forget the secondary. Denzel Ward, lockdown. Back-to-back practices locking up Devonta Smith. Multiple end-zone breakups. No blown coverages. No let-ups. Cleveland didn't just keep up with the Eagles. They controlled the tone. They dictated play. And one final touch that just puts a bow on the whole vibe of camp. After practice, Landon Dickerson brought a bag of beers out to the field for the linemen. Joel Bitonio said it was a great gesture. These moments matter. They build chemistry. They show respect. And in a locker room with as many new faces and emerging voices as Cleveland's, those moments can go a long way. And just when you thought that was all, it gets even deeper, because the ripple effects of this week's events are likely to shape not only the Week 1 roster but possibly the future trajectory of the franchise for years to come. Let's pick it back up where we left off, the offensive side of the ball. Jerry Jeudy. There's no debate anymore. He's WR1. Last season's breakout performance wasn't a fluke, and if his connection with Joe Flacco during joint practices is any indication, he's entering this season with serious momentum. Against Philly, Jeudy smoked rookie Quinyon Mitchell for a touchdown, and this wasn't just a route win, it was surgical. Clean footwork, precision cut, acceleration out of the break, and immediate separation. The kind of play that makes defensive backs hesitate. That's the Jeudy Cleveland needs every single week, especially with Amari Cooper out of the picture. Now pair Jeudy with Isaiah Bond and Cedric Tillman. That trio isn't just fast, it's unpredictable. Tillman, the physical possession receiver. Bond, the quick strike slot weapon. Jeudy, the route running technician who can stretch the field or take a screen to the house. If Deontay Johnson doesn't clean up the drops soon, his spot could vanish quickly. Stefanski's offense isn't waiting around for veterans to find their groove. They're moving forward, and the young guns are leading the way. Back to the ground game, let's talk Dylan Sampson. Quietly making noise, this rookie back is proving he's more than a depth piece. The trick play touchdown to Fannin was clever, yes, but it also showed Sampson's awareness and unselfishness. And don't overlook the fact that he's been dependable in pass protection during drills. In an offense that could rotate backs frequently depending on game script, Sampson might see the field more than most expected. But everything starts up front, and the offensive line's performance against Philly was no joke. Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, DeJuan Jones, they held their own against one of the fiercest front sevens in the NFL. And the cohesion they've built with Joe Flacco is obvious. Flacco had time to throw. He stepped into the pocket confidently. The timing on his throws was sharp. This wasn't a fluke performance. It was chemistry. It was preparation. It was the look of a unit that's beginning to peak at the right time. Switching back to the defensive side, we've already established that Myles Garrett was a menace. But let's dive into the depth chart. Denzel Ward has locked down his CB1 status, but it's the play of the secondary overall that's turning heads. Rookie cornerbacks are showing promise, and the safety duo looked well-versed in disguises, baiting throws from Jalen Hurts that